Alrighty then, can somebody tell me why they decided to do is remove the option to switch between Google Play's accounts in game? Let me explain. So the one thing I noticed since the start of this season is that if you were to look at the top left of your screen, you can obviously see the player profile. However, you probably noticed something's missing that was used to be next to it, that being the option to switch between Google Play's accounts via signing in as well as signing out. Which does make you question what's the reason to remove the feature all of a sudden. Which the one thing I would say is very convenient to be able to have that feature to be able to do switch between accounts without having to do is uninstall and reinstall. But it also gives you the benefit of keeping your HUD layouts as you switch between accounts without having to do is rebind them after you uninstall and reinstall again. So yeah, I want to get that out of the way. Although the good news is that I did find another method of switching between accounts. However, it does require the Google Play Games app and a bit of a lengthy process. So yeah, we're back on the second account, and it's been a while since then. Not really sure why they decided to do is remove the option. I think it was a lot more convenient to have in game. Although I'm not really sure why they decided to do is remove it all of a sudden. Could it be planned for something? I wouldn't necessarily bet on anything on it. I might as well say, let's get straight into the matches. Not really sure if you can hear that, but it's raining outside. Anyways, starting out with the first match being on PG Office. As I did talk about this from time to time, one of my favorite modern maps. Ever since the developer season that came out, I think it's like the 18.0.0, which would you believe? It's gonna be 6 years since that update came out. As I talked about it from time to time, it's one of the more underrated updates and probably the last best update that we had. So there's not really much to talk about as of recently, apart from the biggest news that we had regarding Pixelgun 2, that being a playable demo of the game being available for Steam, which will be available to play throughout the second half of June, that being next month, which I think it's from the 17th to the 23rd. So yeah, if you're curious on playing Pixelgun 2, but this time on PC, well, you have the option to be able to play the demo during Next Fest. I do wonder if it's going to be a different build than what we have currently with the mobile version, aka with Bloxo Arena. It's obviously going to be a lot more different since you have the option to be able to play the game through keyboard and mouse. But I am curious if it's going to be an updated build of the game, or is it going to be the same thing as we had for Bloxo Arena, which did have an update not too long ago, I think a few months now, which did add a bit more content. But the one thing I'll say is that I wasn't expecting we were going to do is get more information regarding Pixelgun 2 throughout this month, especially with it being the game's 13-year anniversary. By that I mean Pixelgun 3D. So to see a bit of a major news regarding Pixelgun 2, at least there's something to look forward to. I mean, obviously there's going to be the opinions that the developers want for Pixelgun 2 to somewhat improve the game on. Might as well hope for the best for the developers to do is take in the feedback and input that they get throughout the game's demo stage, because it has a long way to go in order to do be a lot more better to where it is currently. And by that I mean with the current state of Pixelgun 2. Right, the next match is going to be on Silent School. Sometimes I question if the assault shotgun even at rare is usable nowadays. Which I do question what's even the reason to do is nerf the assault shotgun by downgrading it. Because it used to be epic, but it decided to do is downgrade it to rare, which I feel like doesn't necessarily affect it that much, but it's very noticeable upon using it. Now, one thing I say is not really that much, but it is reverted back to epic as it does require 30 gems to upgrade it. It's usually direct hits with the heavier one in order for it to be more effective. Because clusters won't necessarily do much for it. As I've been playing too much COD Mobile as of recently. It somehow helps. Albeit the time I've been playing Pixelgun 3D, It somewhat translates well for COD Mobile. How far's the score? Not far off. Could probably get something going. If I can get a kill streak going, then it's gonna be pretty good. Try to do is get a better kill streak going. Should be pretty good. Up by 200 points. One more kill for the road. At least, not really. But anyways, we won it. Not bad of a match. It went pretty chaotic the majority of the match, but managed to win it. The last match of the video is gonna be on Chinatown. Could have killed me with the pet dragon. There's not really that many chaotic weapons in here. Surprisingly, the pet dragon does pretty well currently. Especially with that buff for flamethrowers about almost 2 years ago. Flamethrowers do a lot more better performing now than before. And I mean that. Probably got a streak going. Not really. Not really, just with the assault shotgun. Yeah, that's how we win it. But anyways, that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, have a good day or night, and I'll see you guys in the next video.